Some of you know him as the barber. Some of you know him as the realtor. Some of you rock out to his music on Spotify. This is Garrett Olmstead.
Hello.
We're here at his new location in downtown Ridgefield, which is going to be opening later this year.
We're going to be putting in a lot of love and a lot of work, so hopefully it doesn't, collapse around us.
If you didn't know, this is right in downtown. The refuge is right over there. The waterfront in Ridgefield is just across the bridge there. So great location.
Historic downtown.
Yeah, amazing.
You want in? It's
yeah,
cold
let's
out
do it,
here.
yeah.
All right.
So how many stations? Just walk us through the entire vision.
So we're only going to do 5 stations in here because we're going to have a totally separate shampoo bowl room. And then we'll have a really big break room for all of our stylists. And,
Awesome.
we're looking for new stylists as well.
Yeah.
People want to work in the area and be a part of what's happening in downtown Ridgefield.
Okay, so take us back to like high school, I guess. You graduate, you walk across the stage, and then what's the next step?
That is a really good question. I knew I wanted to do hair at a pretty early age. And the reason for that was I had a family friend who owned a hair salon. His name's Jeff Manning. And at the time, he owned a salon called Jeff Manning Salon. Mm-hmm. And I had family that would go to him. And whenever I came across this guy in the world, in the community, he was always like the happiest guy ever, right? And I remember at a young age, I'm like, I know people who work desk shop jobs don't seem very happy. I know my dad, works more blue collar work, not his favorite. But I'm like, Jeff, that guy's truly happy. So I think it was like the 6th grade. I started telling everybody I wanted to do hair. And then at some point, I found out that Jeff opened up a beauty school. Mm-hmm. And so I waited till after high school, enrolled into his beauty school, and he showed me his wisdom in life. That's how to enjoy the craft.
Yeah.
And from there, it was, I always sort of presumed I would enjoy it, but it was obvious that it was a fantastic fit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and I'm also someone who believes that you just get out of something what you put into it. So I just launched myself full into it out of high school. Still made sure to keep my daydreams alive, and it's just been fun ever since.
Okay, so how long does that school take in total?
Beauty school, it was 1,600 hours. It takes about a year. Okay. And I'm a licensed cosmetologist, so I can do hair, I could do color, chemical services. I could technically do fingernails and facials. Okay. So it's pretty involved. And so you get those hours done, and then there's a lot of extra things you could do outside of beauty school. And I really pursued that. I worked with an amazing stylist named Alan Curtis at the salon named Tangles for years, learned the way of Sassoon and Tony and Guy and these big hair companies. And it's just, been growing in that field as well, in education. And as you know, I worked with Kevin Murphy for years, which was amazing. I was a director of education for O'Dowd's in Brooklyn. I've always been curious about the industry and knowing that the elevator doesn't just go up and down, can go left and right, sideways. Yeah. So it's been a fun industry to explore in that way.
Before we get into the entrepreneur side of it, you've always been one to kind of follow the trends of the hairstyles of what's happening. For example, myself and my brothers all get our hair done by you, and it's you go through different phases. It's the hard part, there's the pomade, there's now a different hairstyle. Walk us through following the trends and all that.
Well, as you know, you've been in your industry for a long time. It's fun to mix it up. I think there's those that will kind of get to their norm and just kind of go in and do the same thing. Maybe it's ADHD, but I'm just someone who I feel like I can't do the same thing for a long period of time. So really changing it up is an easy thing to do in the hair industry because fashion is always evolving and you see things, and as an artist, you think to yourself, what can I do? How can I take some of those qualities and put it into my clientele, right? And maybe not everybody likes that, right? Some people want to come in and get the same haircut their whole life, but I like to mix it up.
I never say what I want or anything. I'm just I'm here for a haircut. Let's do it. Yeah. And you're going to be it's going to be great.
Exactly. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And, I think what a lot of people respond to is that when they're working with someone who really cares, and at the end of the day, that's what I'm pursuing is just a good result. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you can utilize different styles and techniques to do that. I love like that one time I cut your hair with all scissors, no clippers, right? Stuff like that makes it so fun for me, and I can mix it up, and then it's fun for you. It's like
you're doing like all these crazy angles with the scissors. It's always cool to see that.
Yeah, I got an all scissor cut, right? And so yeah, mixing it up. Variety is the spice of life.
Yeah, love that. So you have a brother that's also in the industry.
Yes, and
So
he's amazing.
when you guys were growing up, you said since 6th grade you wanted to start cutting hair.
That's right.
Did you guys end up like helping each other out? Like,
what's really
when you were
funny
super
with
young?
that is he's 3 years older than me, and there was this moment in his life where he's like, I just don't know exactly what I want to do. As everybody I think can relate to, and we all feel that in some way. And when I was young, and this is a moment, as you know, as a little brother, it's a rare thing when an older brother listens to a younger brother. But I told him, I said, James, because he's always been super creative. He even does tattoo artistry now. Okay. He's an amazing artist. I told him, hey, you can be your own boss. You can utilize art. You should go to beauty school. And so he did. He went to beauty school even before me because he graduated high school. And he paved the path, and then I followed what I wanted to do, and now we both do hair.
That's awesome.
We've stayed in this industry the whole time.
That's really cool.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
So opening your first business, or filing for the business license with the state of Washington, walk me through that process of finally starting your own business.
I love that question. I remember when I first wanted to start my own business, and I went into my bank, and one of the bankers said, hey, guess what? I just graduated from business school today. I got my bachelor's in business. And I was like, oh, thank goodness. Can you give me some advice? I'm like, yeah, what is it? I'm like, how do you start a business? And they're like, I have no idea.
Yeah. I got a piece of paper, but I don't know anything else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that's sort of the fun thing about starting a business is you have to file with the state and get the licenses and all that. But at the end of the day, like the mindset is I don't know if truly anybody knows how to do it. Luckily, it's been a good thing for me. Luckily, I've been able to navigate it. But if anyone came with me to advise to start a business, I just say, do it. Make sure you love it, and really think about your business, think about the nuances, right? Because even though like I love to cut hair, but do I love to clean the salon late at night? Do I want to have a mega salon with a ton of people, right? The game becomes a little bit different. So early on, I felt like I had a good vision for what I wanted to do and have just a boutique salon that catered to individuals and families, and just do more focus on the hair itself and less upon like growing a massive business. And it's funny how things seem to grow inward, right? In that mindset, which has really worked for me.
Well, take me back to that first moment that you charged someone for your first haircut that you did.
Yeah, dude. That first moment, I remember I was working at a place, you're saying like, oh, my first client for my business.
Yeah.
When the Locksmythe opened, it was actually a mutual person we know, Nathan Gans. Was my first, and I'd been doing his hair for years.
Was that in that small house building in downtown?
Well, it was the one on Main Street. That was the first like Locksmythe when we started
gotcha.
our business. And no, it felt amazing to where it felt like, okay, this was the concept. You always wrap your mind around it. And then when it happens, it clicks and you're like, oh, I just have to do this over and over again.
Yeah.
And it is amazing how it evolves, and there's always nuances that change. But once you realize it's like, okay, I can do this, I'll get paid, and you realize you can make a living being your own boss, there's nothing better.
Yeah. And your wife is also in the industry. So walk me through how she got into it, how you guys started working together. Was this like a mutual thing that...
That's a good question. Yeah. We met in beauty school, and it's funny, a lot of people tell me like, how do you work with your wife all the time? But the truth is we really don't know any different. When we met, we always had that vision in mind of one day starting our own place. And we had the goal out in the distance, and then it became closer as we headed that direction. And so from beauty school, finding the kindred spirit with like goals, and then we've accomplished those goals, and now we have 2 kids and have been married for a long time and had our business for a long time. It's been awesome. It's been a journey, but I would say the business has actually brought us closer together because we can really understand, because just like with any business, there's the not fun parts. We can understand each other and we can communicate about those things. And it's been a good thing being sort of husband-wife business owners for us. We've really enjoyed it.
And then how long did you own the business before you started having kids? And then after kids, obviously things change and now your schedule is different and you have to manage, like, walk me through that change.
Oh gosh, I always tell people, like, you just had your child, right? I feel like the hardest thing about parenting always, especially for entrepreneurs, and you can probably relate to this wholeheartedly, is childcare and finding that balance of like, okay, now I have my business, I need to work on it, and that needs attention, which in some ways your business is like your first child, right? It's like, now I have children that really need me and sort of take me a different direction. I'm one to where I really believe people can balance multiple things, right? I believe life is like a stovetop and there's multiple burners. And I think we are able to manage these things. It takes practice, but a professional chef that's well seasoned can manage these things. And I think children become sort of the main thing to look after.
The spices. Well, no, not the spices. They're the main course.
Exactly, they're the main course. And if anything, having children with a business allows you to sort of take a step back and ground you a little bit and reminds you of actually what's really important, which I think actually makes you a better business owner. Because sometimes when you're so into your business and you're looking at it too closely, you forget about, it's hard to get a full picture of things when you're looking at it too close. Children force you to take a step back and they force you to ask yourself, is this really how much I want to be working in my business? Maybe I should be working on my business more, right? And it's like, how do these qualities of business owning, what are my children going to think about that one day? So I believe the balance can be achieved. I feel really happy with my balance. I definitely don't work in the business as often now. And what is really nice is, as you know, choosing your own schedule and being an entrepreneur, it really is the sweetest thing ever, right? You can change your schedule to be whatever. And like when our kids were little and not in school, my wife and I, since we worked together, we would just trade days, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then it was nice. I would have uninterrupted days with the kids and she would too. And we found a good machine and it worked really well. And it still does. Thank goodness.
Great. And then adding another layer to it, you're also a realtor.
That's right.
So walk me through how you got into that.
I know it's funny. A lot of people ask me like, Garrett, how do you do these like multiple things? You're a dad and you're own a business where you cut hair and you're a realtor. I don't know. I really do feel like we've all heard the saying, jack of all trades, master of none. But there is a second part of that saying that I truly believe with all my heart. So it says, jack of all trades, master of none, but commonly better than the master of one, right? And I do, in my heart, I believe that once you have the wheels turning and you really practice balance, you can fit in most things. And a lot of people, like clients will sit down, they're like, oh, I want to do this, but I really want to do this. Should I quit this? And my advice always is no, you can accomplish both things. Like you can do both things. And I've always had a side of me, like I can be type B all day and sort of be creative, but there's also a side of me that's very type A. And I really want to help people in their life journeys. And I loved and still love helping people with their hair journey and connecting with them in that way. But I think real estate was really natural for me because it allows me to connect with people on a different level. And I would say in a lot of ways, somewhat a deeper level, be connected to their home and finding their, happy place. And honestly, this is going to be controversial to say, but as a realtor, I love the paperwork. I honestly love the systematic, I love going through understanding the forms. And I think that's the type A side of me coming out. And if
detail oriented.
Totally. And getting into that business, I think has ultimately made me a better business owner in the hair industry, right? Because every business, no matter what you do, there's going to be paperwork and back end stuff and taxes and things you need to manage. And no, I've found out that I actually really love that side of things.
That's amazing. Again, naturally, being a realtor is perfect. A perfect combination with what you do for hairstyling because someone sitting in the chair, they're going to tell you basically their entire life story.
It's so true.
And you're cutting their hair every 2 weeks or a month. And so
Right.
they're going to tell you like, oh, I'm thinking about maybe buying a house this year. And they're like, oh, say less.
It's almost a cheat code. And it's interesting because with hair, you break down some barriers with people, like, right?
Yeah.
Like, you touch them, you touch their hair. And I think
You're not going to use another realtor, are you?
right, exactly. You're not going to use another. You're like, oh, my straight razor out. But they feel comfortable with you, and I think for clients that have seen me for a long time, have seen that I'm consistent in one business. This has to follow through with something else.
Yeah.
And so I can say that like 99% of my real estate business has all come through the salon.
That's
right?
awesome.
Has all come from my hair clients referring me, which I'm so appreciative of and humbled. And luckily, I've been able to, I would say, 100% of the time, see people through, accomplish their goals. And no, it's one of life's gifts. It's always a gift just seeing people and having them come in, and it is really a gift just being involved with that side of their life too. And I just love people.
Yeah.
So the more time I get to spend with people and help them, like that's what I feel like my, calling is, just to help people.
Yeah. What was the gateway into real estate? Like, was it when you bought your first house, you saw the process, and was it
Oh my gosh,
the realtor that got you into it?
Well, my realtor I use by my house name is Kelly Wynn,
Okay.
and he's like a local legend. He's been doing it for a really long time. And at the time, he was partnered with a brokerage called Connor Real Estate. That's who I'm with now. And Kelly and Nathan Cano, the owner of Cano, were always so like supportive and always said like, hey, I think you'd be really good at this, just knowing, my connection with people and how much I love people. And it was really their encouragement that allowed me to do that and sort of gave me the confidence to do that. And 2020 happened. We had a pandemic. And, I was a good boy, followed the rules, didn't cut anybody's hair, didn't want to, spread anything. And it was that time I was like, I'm at home. I got extra time. I loved the kids' time. But what am I going to do at night when the kids are asleep? So I just launched myself into the online courses for real estate. And it was all really fascinating information. I found that it was easy for me to just like, wow, this is fun. And that's how it all happened. I got my real estate license. I've been working with Cono Real Estate for my 6-year career, right? Got it in 2020. And it's been super rewarding. And honestly, the way Nathan Cano's business, you asked me about balance. I wouldn't be able to do the things I do if it wasn't the way Nathan structured his business. It sounds like a commercial, but I mean, in some ways it is. Like the way that he arranges it, we have people in the office, and it's just so nice that I can call them and bounce ideas off of, have them help me with forms if need be. And his motto is hire an agent, get a team. And it really is that mentality. So it really does give me like the time allowance and the time budget to be able to still work behind the chair, be able to do real estate and have a team of a collective where we can all sort of like gather around people's specific transactions, and then, still have time for my family. And hopefully some personal time to pursue other dreams, right? That's like what we're doing here, Mr. Couch GM.
Oh, talking about your other dream and passion that
my passion projects?
Yeah. Well, talking about music.
Talking about music. It's, we're all, I think, we are holistic individuals, and we all have different avenues we like to pursue. And deep in my heart, I've always been a huge metalhead, and I love metal music. And it's always been something to where I think it allows me to stay balanced, right? Like I love to, and I think a lot of people do this, they go to the gym and they work it out, they get sweaty. If there's life's aggressions, they can, work through them in like a really safe way. And I've always found like metal music is a great avenue for that. It allows people to kind of like get angry safely, get out what they need to get out, and then when they are back into the real world, they can just enjoy the real world and be like, I worked through all that stuff. So I've been a musician as well since I was like 16, and I've been in bands, and I've been in bands that have toured and opened for big festivals. Like I've played a show in front of 10,000 people. And it's something to where when I was young, that ingrained so deep into me, like into my own ethos, that I knew I never wanted to not do music. So I always find balance. And it's funny, I got my home studio, And time budget, I think, is everything, right? Budgeting time.
Yeah.
And when the kids are asleep at night, I just go into the studio and I record.
Fully padded room with like soundproof everything.
It's exactly it. I have this like little room and I just record one piece at a time. And I call that Project Garrett in the Gray. And no, it's amazing. And that's been really rewarding too these past couple of years. And I do find that sort of has everything in my life, like the business keeps growing and real estate keeps growing and music keeps growing. I believe we can manage it. I haven't quite reached the threshold of things exploding, but it's been a very good, like, balanced ecosystem in my life, and I'm glad I have all of these things that I'm working with.
That's amazing. So how did you come up with the name Garrett in the Gray?
Garrett in the Gray, it's funny, I was working with a personal trainer and I wasn't working with my band anymore, but I was going to start releasing solo music. And he asked me, he was like, so who else is in your band? I'm like, just me. And he's like, oh, so Garrett. And it's funny when I'm talking to myself and this comes out in the gym, like I was doing some reps and
push it.
Well, and when I talk to myself, I call myself Gary. Right?
Gary?
I call myself Gary. I'm like, come on, Gary, come on. And he thought that was so funny. He told me, he's like, you should call your project, since it's just you, Garrett and Gary, right? And then I was thinking about it for a second. I was like, Garrett and Gary. I was like, but we need to make it more metal, right? Garrett and Gary doesn't quite make sense. But it's like Gary, Gary.
Yep.
Let's rearrange it. Garrett in the Gray, Gray.
Yeah,
right?
That's awesome.
And, my business is called The Locksmythe. I like clever names and sort of playing with words. So it seems natural. It's like Garrett in the Gray. It's easy to remember.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It just worked like that. So that was my personal trainer, Ian, who really kind of put it together.
So walk me through the process of making a song. Like if you're writing the lyrics out, so you just write it in chunks, like something happens in your life and you're like, all right, that's a line.
Songwriting is so weird because whenever I try to force myself to sit down, it's like, all right, you got to write a song. And it never really works and never really feels good. I'll be getting ready for the day and I'll be in the shower and I'm like, I think I have a song in my head. And then it sticks with me for a bit. It's funny, I don't write down any of my song lyrics.
Really?
And I don't know how to read music, or I'll record phone memos if I really think I'll forget it. But it's rare. So honestly, the songs are just kind of like melodies that live in my head. And a part of making the music, it just feels really good to record them and sort of oh, now I don't have to hold on to this anymore.
Yeah.
I know that sounds kind of funny, but
so are you thinking 3 different songs at the same time in your head, or is it you have to get one fully processed? I guess you're not writing them down at all. You're just okay, this is what it sounds like. Let me make that. And then once you're done with that, it's gone, and then on to the next one.
It's so funny that literally right now, Connor, I have 3 songs that are in my head that I just recorded one of them, and it's in the oven. It feels so good. And I have, honestly, I have 6 songs planned for the year, and they're just they're in there.
They're all just in there.
Yeah, and some of them are pieces, but I have the main, I know what the songs are going to sound like. So this year I'm planning on getting them all out. 6 songs, we can do it.
That's awesome. And then, I watched one of your most recent music videos, and it's the old school, skeletons and all that stuff. What's the process of making a music video, and how do you find that footage?
Oh man, the
creative process.
As you know, you're someone who exists in this modern era of, social media. And one of, the things I'm really interested in is old media and things that are public domain. And a lot of them are public domain just with how old they are.
How long does it have to be until it's public domain?
I think it's 100 years.
100 years, okay.
And it might be less with some things.
Okay.
And some things may not be registered. I'm not exactly sure, but a lot of the times will look for these old films and this public domain footage. And that footage in there is from an old silent movie. And it's so fun watching them because you can just tell they're utilizing these funny tricks that people don't do anymore. Mm-hmm. There's no CGI. Yeah. It's all stage. And I really appreciate that stuff. And I do find that for me, it's really interesting. And making content, it's why reinvent the wheel? This stuff is out there. I don't want it to be forgotten. Mm-hmm. And I feel there's a lot of public domain sort of spooky sort of, metal imagery, even before the time metal was even a genre. that I really enjoy incorporating. So the music video, it was filmed by my friend Micah, who's like a rock star, Micah Aris. And he has like huge songs. He's way more popular than I'll ever be. And he has been working with me. He's been my coach through music. And he was like, hey, we got to film you some content. So literally that was like in his garage. And I just came, he's like, just sing through the songs. And I just sang through the songs. And then we spliced in all this cool public domain footage of this like silent film. And it just came together. And, you know, maybe it's not the most groundbreaking thing, but it's always satisfying to work on a project and see it come together and come to fruition. And it feels good, you know, to produce something like that.
No, I completely understand. That's great. And then who are some of your influences growing up, like with the music side of it?
I'm a child of the MySpace days, right? And I remember searching through MySpace.
Okay, what were your top 5?
Top 5. That's really cool. So also, I'm going to age myself, but nu metal was at its height. And as a child, I'd listen to like System of a Down every day. I'd listen to Korn. My biggest influence, though, that I think really, in some ways, sort of like opened my eyes to a bigger world was this band Rammstein, right?
Yeah.
They sing,
right.
Exactly. They sing in German, and they have these like amazing live shows. And I just had, at that time, never heard anything like it before. So Rammstein is like, you know, spot number 1, 2, 3. And then we have like System of a Down, Korn. And I mean, honestly, what's so funny is nu metal is such a broad, like, what is nu metal? Like any genre that has any sort of like heaviness and aggression, I just love. I find it fascinating and I want to listen to it. And maybe it's my love for people and my concern for people, but it sparks something inside of me to where I'm like, wow, this is really interesting. And Rammstein just having that sort of like global perspective and singing all in a different language, it was just fascinating to me. So that's what really inspired me. I would listen to those records, and it's at this point, this sounds funny to say, but I'm so ingrained into that music, and I was brought up like that's all I listened to, that if someone challenged me to make like a different song, I don't know if I could. Like I think my guitars only make one sound. So yeah, it's a part of who I am.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Garrett and the Gray on Spotify and all mobile audio platforms. So I mean, full circle. You're currently in Florida right now.
Yeah.
At the hair salon. You're moving out here into downtown Ridgefield.
Downtown Ridgefield.
Yeah, just walk me through like this past few years of what it's been to grow the Florida space and now be able to buy your own building at this point.
No, it's been nice. Like you and I know we've had good conversations about, you know, as being in the real estate industry, learning about people's finances is really fascinating. And we just set a goal. We knew that eventually this year, and even back when we opened up our salon in Florida 5 years ago now, we knew that our next place that we're going to be is a place that we own, right? And we want to start the rental game and see if we could expand from there. And hopefully this will be the last place for the locksmith, and we can be here for a long period of time. And then from there, I will have, because I'm 33, so I've been in the industry since I was 18, so what was that, 15 years? Yeah. So we'll see what happens in the next 5 years, but I can see expanding sort of into different ways. And I would love to get more rental properties and sort of, you know, expand the real estate empire. Yeah. And really, you know, see where things take me. And I'm really excited to grow with Ridgefield. I think it's a really exciting time for downtown and all of sort of the hubbub of what's going to happen.
You can see the waterfront right
out exactly. And I'm excited to see this evolve. And when we first moved to downtown Vancouver, when we opened our salon, there was like nothing there. The waterfront wasn't built. Yeah. Which was charming. Like I loved it. And to really be a part of it as it completely changed was pretty special. And so I'm really glad to see this happening in Ridgefield. And it is nice to be a part of it in sort of kind of a deeper level, being a fellow building owner here. So I'm very eager, and I'm very excited to see what the future brings there. So I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, amazing. Well, it's super motivating just seeing being able to be there along the way, kind of as you scaled up and doing all this, it's a lot of fun to see. And
Thanks.
Excited to see this place open up and where it goes.
Exactly. Well, we'll have to have you back
Yeah.
once we're all renovated. Then you can see all the magic that's been
Absolutely
done in here. And yeah, it'll be awesome. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Appreciate it, dude.
Yeah,
Good
nice
seeing
work.
ya.